Plastic is the fastest growing component of the municipal waste stream. Single-use plastic bags, the type shoppers receive at checkout counters, have arguably drawn the most attention. End quote, Dazzle and Lynch. There are many ways to help the environment. Some companies are using plastic alternatives while shoppers are buying more reusable things. In this speech, I'll be persuading you why plastic is dangerous to the environment and the wildlife, as well as tell you how one company is helping the environment and some alternatives instead of plastic. A female turtle will lay a clutch of eggs, like a litter. She lays 65 to 180 eggs about once a year for 9 years. She cleans up the sand and makes it look like she was never there in hopes of keeping her eggs safe from predators, such as crabs, dogs, or people. The top two saddest parts of this whole ordeal, in my opinion, is this. 1. Only 10% of the baby sea turtles make it to the water. And 2, if they do make it, they don't recognize anyone, which makes sense because they're in an egg. I think that's really sad. Fun fact, turtles are born genderless. The only reason they have a gender is because of the temperature of sand they're born in. Cooler sand means they're a boy, warmer sand means they're a girl. While swimming their thousands of miles in their roughly 50 years of life, they have a lot of choices ahead of them. And you might be thinking, why is this important? Why do I need to know anything about sea turtles? Here's why. Because a lot of the trash and the plastic that ends up in the ocean gets eaten by those turtles. It gets caught in their digestive system and slowly but surely kills them. Quote, depending on the species, sea turtles feast on anything, from seaweed to jellyfish. They consume squid, barnacles, sponges, sea anemones, among other creatures, while green turtles, the herbivores, primarily eat seagrasses and algae. End quote, quoted in How Long Do Sea Turtles Live and Other Sea Turtle Facts on WWF. Or, will they think trash is food and eat that instead? These are two containers. One contains a jellyfish, one contains a plastic bag. And we might be able to tell a difference between these two photos, or these two containers, but a sea turtle might not. And sadly, when they don't see a difference, they eat the plastic bag instead. Many different people call this many different things. A garbage patch, an ocean garbage patch, or an ocean guide. On the West Coast, we have the GPGP, the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. It's twice the size of Texas, our second biggest state, and located between Japan, Hawaii, and California. A group of scientists went on a boating research expedition trip from California to Hawaii, and they found there was 6 times more plastic in the ocean than there were plankton. That was 21 years ago. That was before we really got crazy with our plastic. Most studies done in the ocean regarding plastic have been about big things like abandoning fishing nets, not tiny things like microplastic particles that are just as dangerous. Quote, in the past, researchers have mostly focused on larger threats, such as abandoning fishing nets that trap turtles and seals, and plastic bags that block the digestive tracts of turtles, and the toothbrushes and bottle caps that seabirds mistake for food, sometimes starving as a result or dying from a blockage. But toxin-laden microplastics may add another risk to marine life. End quote, Kaiser. On a different note, but still talking about plastic, people will do anything for an incentive. Are you going to raise your hand in class? No, probably not. But will you raise your hand for extra credit in class? Yes, you probably will. A study was done at Ohio University regarding plastic and incentives. Will people pay an extra 10 cents to use a regular plastic bag at the grocery store? Or will they bring their own reusable one for an incentive and save 10 cents? They found that almost 50% of their respondents would rather have a reusable bag than not. The more people are educated about plastic and how it's affecting the environment, the more they likely are to have reusable things. Quote, there is an estimated 583 billion plastic bottles were produced in 2021. That is 100 billion more than were produced just 5 years ago. End quote, Ian Tiza. Reusable water bottles are gaining popularity because more people are concerned about the environment, which means they're more conscientious about what they buy. Water bottle companies are capitalizing on that thought process, so they make their products vary on the customer's wants and the customer's needs. Speaking of water bottles, what do you put in them? Water. And where do you get that water? From a water fountain. Quote, with the world's population consuming 1 million plastic bottles per minute, hydration stations are popping up at several colleges and universities to promote environmental consciousness and healthfulness on campus. End quote, SB. These water fountains are everywhere, in buildings, colleges, and schools, even our own school. One of the many benefits of these stations is that by using it, it tells you how many plastic water bottles were saved from being made on the top. Quote, since we couldn't eliminate the product, we're trying to find something that would pique student interest and get them to make the behavioral switch, said University of Iowa sophomore Kelsey Zelver, end quote, held. Iowa colleges are capitalizing on that and handing out reusable water bottles at Student Orientation Day, not the regular plastic ones. So then students can fill up their new water bottle at the newly put in hydration stations. And the University of Nevada, Las Vegas made an app called Companion, like Companion but with a cup. You can scan the sticker each time you fill up your water bottle, and for an incentive, then you get a free drink or a small gift card. These machines are a little expensive, but can we really put a price on a cleaner and safer world? The installation costs anywhere from $900 to $3,000 and anywhere from $6,000 to $7,000 for upkeep. It is the Christmas season. It was just Black Friday, now it's Cyber Monday. And maybe you want a Hydro Flask or a Yeti, or maybe your parents do. And how are you going to wrap that up? Are you going to do regular wrapping paper at the store or a gift bag? What about from Lydia Gift Wrap? It's the wrapping paper company that specializes in making their products more eco-friendly. Quote, proceeds from the purchase of the rainforest collections goes toward rainforest conservation. Check out the exquisite Belgian chocolate candy bars that support endangered species conservation. End quote, quoted in Better Gift Wrap Environmental Magazine. Lydia Gift Wrap has an incentive program where if you send in your old, broken gift bags, they will make them better and resell them. For your incentive, then you get 10% off your next order. Now, you might be thinking, wow, this is a lot of information, and I feel really bad for the turtles that eat the plastic. There are a few ways to help. Number 1, bring a reusable bag to the grocery store or just say no to a bag. 2, say no to a straw if you're asked when you're in a restaurant. 3, bring a reusable water bottle instead of a normal plastic one. And 4, buy in bulk and don't go for the prepackaged snacks. That might be easier but more harmful for the environment. In this speech, I persuaded you to help reduce the amount of plastic you are using on a day-to-day basis. I also told you how some companies are promoting not using plastic. And while cutting out plastic from your life may seem daunting, you can start small and say, I don't need a bag for my 3 groceries. That can really help the world. Thank you for listening to my speech.